Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everyone. First order of business is a public presentation. Is there any member of the public that wants to speak at this time? Okay, hearing none. Move on to the meeting minutes from 8/20/2025.
So moved.
First Andrew, second Christian. Any further discussion? All in favor? Minutes pass. Next are the warrants from 8/19/2025 and 8/21. We have a motion. First Andrew, second Christian. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Motion passes. Next item is the mill rate, 2025.
So mill rate, as we discussed, was 23.5, and we can just lead into the assessor's certificate.
Okay. So do we need a motion for
Yeah,
that?
we need some motions to approve the certificate of assessment, the municipal tax assessment warrant, the certificate of commitment, the certificate of assessment, and municipal valuation report.
Do you need individual motions on that?
Individual.
Individual.
So moving on, Carol, do you have that motion for the first?
I make a motion on the assessor's
Okay.
certificate of assessment.
Okay, first Carol, second
Second.
Christian. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Motion passes. Next, entertain a motion for municipal tax assessment. First Christian, second Andrew. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Motion passes. Next, certificate of commitment.
So moved.
First Andrew, second Christian. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. Next, the municipal valuation return.
So moved.
First Andrew, second Christian. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. Next, we have EV chargers update.
So at our last meeting, we had asked that I obtain some additional information in regards to what it would take for us to revamp our EV chargers to level 3. And so Cindy got us a little memo in regards to what that would take. And I feel that right now DHHS is looking to place some EV chargers. The hospital already has EV chargers. We already have a set. I feel like at this point,
Hold
there's
off.
plenty. to
Being
hold on,
added,
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
We don't need a
Don't
motion.
need a motion, we'll
Yeah.
just table for now.
Yeah.
Okay, next, fire department, safety works.
I'm gonna refer to Cole on this one, so Cole, go ahead.
Is this the shape you're talking about?
Yeah.
So last week we got, the Bureau of Labor was up to renew our shape certification, which Ed had done, I don't know, 5 years, I think it's 5 years now, and it needs to be updated every 5 years. So the lady came up, it's a enforcement-free program, so the Bureau of Labor can't come here unless there's a complaint or an accident that happens. Everything looks good, I think. We had 4 different things that we needed to correct, but nothing earth-shattering. So I think we're gonna get renewed. I sent in my plan of correction on Monday, and I'm waiting to hear from them, but I don't expect any issue with that. And I also asked, Susie asked me to ask about town being completely shape certified, which could be a goal. It's a little bit of, it's all paperwork that needs to be brought up to speed. So if we decide to do that, she's gonna come up and do a consultation with us and see what it would take.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Cole.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think part of this, though, we need to approve.
okay. Did anyone have any questions on what was provided?
I think we should table this and talk about, because we're talking about growing scope for one of the roles and duties for covering the entire town with the safety program. I think we should talk about the impact.
So this
For
is,
additional-
this was one of the corrections
Yeah.
that we needed to, this is strictly from,
And that's already happening, actually, but we just, because the safety committee already reviews safety incidents or mishaps or whatever, accidents.
Yeah.
So this is just formalizing it with a policy saying that that's what's gonna be happening.
You need some time to look at the.
I've reviewed it, and it's good to outline. There are a couple of components in the policy itself. It's good to have a skeleton template, but I think we need to have a little bit more time to have it revised a little bit. Bookmarks not defined. It's I don't want to nitpick on like little things on the safety policy, but I do think that we should have a little bit more time to discuss the impacts on the responsible parties and what that looks like going forward for scope enforcement for the rest of the town. So,
Is there any questions that you want to pose to
Right,
Cole right
Cole is
now?
the one
'Cause
that takes
this
care
would
of
be the
this.
time to discuss this,
yeah.
and
you're taking care of this for the fire department currently, right?
Mhm.
And you're looking at doing this for everything from public works, police department.
Now, are you talking about the shape certification or the accident investigation?
I'm talking about the safety program, because that's what this encompasses. This is like
This for
the safety
fire
program for the entire thing.
So the shape certification, the fire department's already shape certified.
Yeah,
But Susie, and I think it's a good idea to have the whole town shape certified.
Yep.
Part of that is this accident investigation. So do you have questions about the shape certification or the accident investigation?
no, I don't. It's figuring out how we're going to outline the roles and responsibilities, because you're single-threaded for a lot of things, and
Well, it's gonna be the responsibility of the department heads.
Yeah,
Right.
each department head will be responsible for their own department, but so
Yeah.
Cole's going to make sure that.
administer the program, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is something that came up a year ago, right? This is something.
Well, so there's a separate thing, Maine Municipal has a workers' comp program, which a lot of the requirements are the same for Maine Municipal and
Yeah.
Bureau of Labor, so a lot of our work was already done, and I think a lot of the other departments' work is already done, because we're in that workers' comp program. This is just I mean, having the whole town shape certified is not a for sure thing yet.
Yeah.
And so we
Right.
need to have, the woman needs to come to a consultation first to see where we're at and how much work it actually would be.
is there any more questions for Cole
No.
in that regard? So I'll entertain a motion to move it forward. First, Carol, any second? Andrew, any further discussion or questions? All in favor? All opposed? Okay, next, planning board, vacant buildings.
So, maybe 6 months ago, we came to council in regards to a vacant building proposal to start charging for any vacant buildings that people, haven't taken care of, whether they've demolished or fixed up. It was brought back to the planning board, and Cole, I'll let you step
Yeah,
in.
so they were looking for some direction because the ordinance that we had got, that Suzie had got from Bangor, was basically, once the building was secure and safe and boarded up, essentially, then they were done doing what they needed to do for the building, and then their fees would end. the fees that were assessed would end. So I think that we should do that, as the planning board has worked on that ordinance already. And then if you guys are interested in a building that is dangerous or unsafe completely, then we use the dangerous building ordinance, the state statute that we already have in place, and we just start enforcing it, basically. So I think it can be two different things instead of, because we had talked about putting liens on the property after the fees never got paid for so long, but nobody I talked to has done that yet. They're not doing that part of the process. So once the building is safe and secure, that process is then over. So it wouldn't accomplish, if the goal is to tidy up the town, if you will, it's not necessarily accomplishing that goal.
Right.
It is to a certain point, but it's not, you can't tear down a building. It's not what. So, but with the dangerous building thing, if we think that the building is dangerous enough or unsafe, then we could go down that avenue.
So what is the planning board recommending to the town council?
The planning board is recommending that we do the ordinance, the fee schedule, so you have to register your vacant building, and there's a fee attached to that, and then every year there's a fee until you clean as we need to.
Okay, so I guess our next step is to approve, to allow the planning board to move forward, because I think you have to have public,
Yeah, we'll have to have a
Hearing
public hearing, and
and-
we still have a lot of work to do on that, or that registration ordinance anyway.
Okay, yeah. So do I have a motion to move forward? First Christian, second Carol. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Motion passes. Next, Public Works paving projects.
okay, at last meeting, we were unsure if we could use the LRAP funds for some of our paving projects, so I did hear back from Peter Coughlin, and he did indicate that we can use the funds, and Chad provided 4 different areas of roadways that we could possibly pave if you want to move forward. So School Street is on the list. The last time it was paved was in 2014. That paved was in 2018. And that is at $28,680. And then there's also another little section to apply 5/8 shim coat for an additional $14,400. Baltic Ave, last time that was paved was 2014 for $20,400. And then Franklin School Road entrance, basically to pave 600 feet from Violet Settlement Road onto Franklin. That comes out to roughly the $94,284. So Chad, do you have anything more that you want to?
Thanks, Susan. Hold the cabinet. This is part of that test batch that we were getting a deal on, right? Chad?
It's not, we're
It's
gonna go
not.
out to bid for this.
Yeah, okay.
That was a one-time deal.
That was a one-time,
Yeah.
Curly Brook.
All right.
I based my math on $120 a ton.
Yeah.
It could be cheaper. I think I went on the high end of things, but if it's cheaper, we'll do a little bit more, obviously.
So LRAP funds, for anybody that doesn't know what LRAP funds are, every year in November, we receive a notification that we're to pave smaller roadways, local roadways, not state roadways, so. So Chad has asked for 4 different areas.
So do we have a motion to approve that list?
I make a motion.
Second Carol. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor? Motion passes. Next, we have Route 1 project.
So today I had some bad news. Our town engineer called to say that Trombley Construction will need to pull out of the Route 1 project due to health reasons. And so our town engineer did have a conversation with DeVoe Construction to see if they would be available since they were the next lowest bidder. And they are available. It still fits within our drinking water funds that we had allotted for this. DeVoe is ready to begin construction. The only thing is we would need to have a motion in place to dissolve our agreement with Trombley Construction. And I know that Christian did mention that he does have a bond, and he's correct, we could go after the bond, but then we're gonna be in court, and it's gonna be a costly amount if we go that route. If we dissolve it, and then DeVoe will actually have a bond as well, so, I mean, it's not like we're gonna start this work without any bonds.
Right.
So we need 2 votes. We would need a vote that to dissolve our agreement with Trombley Construction, and then the next vote would be to move forward with DeVoe Construction on the Route 1 project.
Okay. So we'll entertain the motion.
I'll make a
To
motion to
dissolve.
dissolve the Trombley agreement.
Okay, so first Carol.
Discuss it, yeah.
Yep. Any second to moving forward to discussion? Second Christian, discussion.
So my only point is, we've got 5% of the original contract price. That's why the bond was there. That's why we ended up selecting them as a validated bidder. Comes out to around 203 grand. The difference in between DeVoe and Trombley was about 400 grand, and we're already pushed back a little bit on the Route 1 stuff. And the reason why I say that is, I thought they were already supposed to be getting some of the prep work done. So, yes, if we got a little bit of work done on like the Pump House Road section, that would definitely be a benefit. But the change in price in between the bids, to not, I don't know, to voluntarily withdraw from the bid and leave $200,000 on the table, that, I don't know, we're gonna have to come up with $400,000.
No, we already had an
Yeah.
allotted amount,
The money was all
and it
there.
came in way under bid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were all set as far as, we don't have to come up with extra funds. We already had the funds from drinking
And
water
Jake,
program.
you got something?
Well, I'm thinking, shouldn't Trombley hire DeVoe? If they can't do the work and they have the bond, shouldn't it be their financial responsibility to get the job done and hire
It
them?
could, but
That's a good point.
right now, I mean, I could ask that question to the engineers, but I don't think DeVoe Construction will want to work under another construction company, because they're two, they both bid on the same job.
That's interesting though, Jake.
DeVoe is ready to start the work. Trombley had already ordered the pipes, and from EJ Prescott, he did make a phone call to see if he would just transfer the pipes to DeVoe Construction, and EJ Prescott did say that they would just transfer the billing to DeVoe Construction. It's not a situation that we like to see,
No, right.
Well, it's a medical issue.
but it's a medical issue, and I don't think that he'll be able to complete the job. So at that point, we would have gone to the next bidder
Right.
regardless. It's not
Right,
like it's not like he started the work, and he was only going to start October 1st, if that. And then he just received some news that
And DeVoe would be ready.
DeVoe is ready to start.
I mean, the people have been there, been a couple of years now. That street needs to be worked on. Get that done.
You gotta get it done.
Yeah, we're kind of at a time crunch here, so.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any other discussion on that motion to move forward with dissolving Trombley's contract? Okay, all in favor of that motion? All opposed?
I'm gonna abstain. I
Abstain.
wasn't here for the
Sure,
discussion, so.
And the second part of that, Susie, was to,
To move forward
Move forward
with
with
approving DeVoe Construction.
I make that motion.
first Andrew, second Christian. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Motion passes.
I'm abstaining, Susie.
Okay, our next items are executive session.